Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. California Attorney General Rob Bonta, thank you for joining me today. And as many of you know and have heard before, my family and my parents, for a long time, fought for fairness and for justice, for fairer systems, and a better world. And that's part of who I am. That's hardwired into my DNA. That's how I've approached everything that I've done as elected public official, the roles that I've been honored to have, including the California Attorney General's office. And I see my role as the people's attorney to help ensure more fairness, to right wrongs, and to make sure there is justice where injustice currently exists. So today I'll be making an announcement that is solely and exclusively based on what is best for the people of California in the interests of fairness and justice. Many of you know that with respect to the tragic case of Sean Monterosa, who was killed in an officer-involved shooting on June 2nd, 2020, almost a year ago now, that for some time there has been great uncertainty and a lack of clarity with respect to what is happening next. The family is left unsure. The community is left unsure. The state is left unsure about what the next steps will be. And we must do better than that. There should not be silence. There should not be inaction. There must be clarity around this officer-involved shooting that led to the death of Mr. Sean Monterosa. And what is needed is a fair and complete and impartial, thorough and transparent review. So far, there has been an investigation that's been conducted by the Vallejo Police Department, but then it has stopped. There has been no review of that investigation. There has been no application of the facts of that investigation to the law as we know it. And today, that will change. Today, I've had the opportunity to speak earlier today to the Solano County District Attorney. I've reached out to the mayor of the city of Vallejo. I've reached out to the police chief for the city of Vallejo, and I've had a chance to speak with the family. And today I am announcing that the Department of Justice will be taking on the review of the case of the tragic shooting that led to the death of Mr. Sean Monterosa. We will take the investigative file. We have not prejudged it in any way. We don't know what's in the file, but we will give it a full review. It will be complete. It will be thorough. It will be fair. It will be impartial, and we will be transparent during the process. Again, what has happened is there has been inaction, and this case deserves action, deserves for the review process to be completed to the end, whatever that end is. So the Department of Justice will take it from here. We will step up and act. We will complete the process that the family, that the community, that the state of California deserves. And it is unfortunate that up to this point, the Solano County District Attorney has not acted. As many of you know, the Solano County District Attorney has recused herself when there was no basis to do so. There is no actual conflict under the law. She has repeatedly stated that she can be impartial and thorough and fair, and that she would be in this case. And that is her job, is to represent the people in cases in the criminal justice system. And the Solano County District Attorney has indicated that she can do that. And my view is that she should do that and should have done that. And I said that to her when we spoke today. I made that clear. But unfortunately, she will not be taking up the case. So in the absence of her doing so, with that failure to act, the Department of Justice will step in and will act in this case, and will take the case going forward and make sure it's fair, impartial, thorough, and transparent. And we all know that it is actions like these, inaction, uncertainty, lack of completion of the process that should be impartial and fair and transparent and thorough, that leads to distrust. We need to build trust. We need to earn trust. The way to earn trust is to do the job impartially and fairly. And that could have been done here in Solano County by the Solano County District Attorney, but it was not. So again, the Department of Justice will step in and take the case from here. And I know how important it is to build trust between law enforcement in our communities. I believe I've seen that the vast majority of law enforcement personnel want to build that trust, are willing to and committed to cultivating it and fostering it. And we need to do that in as many places as we can. That includes district attorneys who can be impartial and fair, doing their job and fulfilling that role and fulfilling that duty. That will earn the trust. Saying that you can be fair and impartial, but not doing that job of fairness and impartiality actually breeds distrust, unfortunately. So we all need to work toward building more trust between law enforcement and community, and I'm committed to that. I know most district attorneys are as well. And let me be very clear about this case. We have not seen the file. The Department of Justice has not seen the file for the investigation. We don't know what's in it, but we will take it, and whatever is in the file, we will review it. We will determine if there is any supplemental investigation that needs to be done, although let's be clear, the critical parts of the investigation occur at the beginning of the investigation and in the first 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. So we are almost a year away since then. So the investigation is more or less complete, but we'll review it. We'll take our time with it, so we don't know how long this will take. We will make sure that we are being thorough, thoughtful, and complete, and fair, and objective, and impartial in our review. And then wherever the facts and the law lead, that's where we'll go. We will be, we will complete the process based on where the facts and the law lead, and make a decision based on the facts and the law. If there is wrongdoing, we'll bring it to light. And if the facts do not lead to a charging decision, we will explain it, make it clear why, and be transparent to the community. So we don't know where this is going to go, but we do know that we're going to take on this process from here and complete it, take action, and get to a final conclusion in this very important matter. So I'll also say that the action that I'm announcing today will not bring back Don Monterosa. He, unfortunately, is gone forever. His family will no longer see him, interact with him. There'll be an empty seat at the table whenever they sit down for meals together and family gatherings. So we will not be bringing him back with the action today, but the action today is critical. We must have complete, thorough, impartial, fair reviews of officer-involved shootings from the beginning to the end. And so the lack of action here, the uncertainty, and the need for action has obligated me as a California Attorney General and my office, the Department of Justice, to step in, act, and take the case here. So I'll also just share this. Jobs have easy parts and they have hard parts. And it's really important that we do all the parts of our jobs. Sometimes a specific issue or a case has a lot of public interest and public scrutiny. We must still do our jobs in those cases and not shy away from them and continue to act as in pursuit of our duty, of our obligation, of our responsibility. So I know right now we are throughout the state, throughout this nation, in a racial justice reckoning, a reckoning on how we do policing. And it's very important that we have accountability, because without accountability, you can't have trust. So we were going to make sure that this review is completed, that it's, again, impartial, fair, thorough, objective, and that it is brought to a final conclusion. So I'm committed to working to rebuild trust and to making sure that I work with others to build more fairness in our system. So with that, I'll end my opening remarks and open it up to questions.
If you would like to ask a question, you may do so by clicking on the raise hand icon to the right of your screen. Once approved, you will click continue. So you have to click twice, once to raise your hand and once to be approved. You will then be moved into the queue. You can also submit questions through the chat feature and through our press office email address. Again, if you would like to ask a question, you may do so by clicking on the raise hand icon to the right of your screen. Once approved, you will click continue. You will then be moved to the queue. The first question comes from Aline. You are now unmuted. Please state your publication before you ask your question.
Hi, I'm Aline Chekmedjan with the Los Angeles Times. I was wondering if you could tell us the status of the investigation into LA County Sheriff's Department, if you've narrowed the scope of that investigation at all and what specifically you're looking at, where you're at with that. And then also, the LA County Sheriff's Department has a practice of not naming deputies who were involved in recent shootings, unlike other law enforcement agencies in California. And it's a practice that's at odds with a state Supreme Court ruling that says they must turn over that information. And so I was wondering what's your position on this, and will you step in to make sure that they follow this rule?
The pattern and practice investigation of the LA County Sheriff's Department is ongoing. It was started before I was appointed California Attorney General. It's continuing now under my leadership as California Attorney General, and we will continue that pattern and practice investigation and provide updates as we can and when appropriate. As it's an ongoing investigation, that's all I have to share at this time, but it is an ongoing investigation.
And then their practice of not naming deputies involved in recent shootings?
We'll make sure that we take a close look at that issue and address it as appropriately consistent with our office's practices and policies and values.
Next question comes from John. John, you are now unmuted.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney General. I understand the investigation and the review is ongoing, and there's not a lot of detail that you can get to. I wanted to ask you about the actual campaign and Anne-Marie Schubert's ad that she released yesterday, targeting your gun violence record, if you could respond to that assertion that you're soft on guns.
Let me say that I am 100% focused on the job that I have. That's my commitment and responsibility to the people of California. There are many people who are suffering and hurting. Too many people are being treated unfairly in our criminal justice system. Many people are being hurt by big polluters and forced to drink dirty water and breathe unhealthy air. Too many people are being cheated by big corporations. Too many people are being the victims of horrific hate crimes. And so my focus is to be the people's attorney, to fight for everyday folks who've been hurt, harmed, and mistreated. That's where I'm putting my time and attention. As to my record on addressing gun violence, it speaks for itself. I have a long record of being very focused and very committed to making our communities safer from gun violence. And you need only look at that long record over the last almost 9 years in the legislature.
If anyone else has a question, you can just hit the raise hand icon to the right of your screen. Also go through the chat and email. The next question comes from Robert. Robert, you are now unmuted. Robert, you're now unmuted.
Okay. Hello? Is that coming through now? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Apologies. Hey, Attorney General, I appreciate your time. What I wanted to ask was, you're very familiar with recent legislation that empowers the Department of Justice to investigate officer-involved shootings involving unarmed civilians. Do you see this as something? Do you see the action you're taking today, announcing today, as reflective of something you see the office doing more frequently? Do you see this as an exceptional circumstance? How do you see the application of that duty that has been bestowed to your office by recent legislation, that you were part of?
You're referring to AB 1506 and the requirement that the California Department of Justice conduct thorough, independent investigations of officer-involved shootings that result in the death of an unarmed Californian. That is a top priority for us. I've indicated that many times. It continues to be. It requires the Department of Justice to do something it's never done before, and we are absolutely committed to standing up that system, to fulfilling that obligation and that responsibility, to doing it right, to doing it accurately, to doing it comprehensively, with objectively, impartially, with full integrity. And we certainly need the resources to be able to get it done right, to be able to respond to qualifying officer-involved shootings that trigger the responsibility of AB 1506 anywhere in the state, wherever they may be, whenever they may occur. And it's important for us to get to the location immediately to begin the investigation and retrieve evidence, store evidence, get witness testimony, gather all the facts, and review those facts and apply the law and determine what step is appropriate next. And we're committed to doing that, and we will do that. The Sean Monterosa case is not an AB 1506 case. It is not contemplated by AB 1506. It comes outside of the timeline of AB 1506. It is separate. And it is a rather remarkable and extraordinary case, in the sense that there was a DA who recused herself with no basis, and after saying that she was recused, said that she could not reverse that decision for some reason, even though the original basis for the decision was not based on any law or actual conflict that could lead to a recusal. There is no actual conflict in this case. And in fact, the DA has said that she could be fair and impartial and thorough in conducting the investigation. And I made it clear that she should conduct the investigation. In the absence of her doing so, we will do so, because fairness requires a complete process, not a process that ends with an investigation and a file that's gathering dust on someone's desk somewhere, but a review of that investigation and a decision. Even though there's public scrutiny, even though it may be hard to make the decision, you need to make the decision. Someone does, and no one was doing it here. Although it was made clear by the DA that she could have done it if she decided to do it, she decided not to. So I will, and my office will. We'll take it from here. This is a very remarkable and extraordinary case, separate from AB 1506. But with respect to your question about AB 1506, we're absolutely committed to getting that process done well, done right, to make sure that we earn the trust of Californians.
And that is all the questions we have right now. Do you want to give a closing?
Well, thank you for gathering on short notice. I know this is an issue and a case that has garnered much attention and interest from the public and the press. Wanted you to know about this development. Many have been unsure what is to happen next because there has not been action. Although the investigation has been completed, there has been no commitment by an appropriate authority to review the investigation and apply the law to the facts in that investigation and make a decision that's consistent with the law and the facts. Since that was not happening, since there was uncertainty, since there was lack of action, I will end that today and step in and make sure that the process is completed, that it's fair, that it's impartial, that it's thorough, that it's transparent, and that it's objective. So there'll be more to come in the weeks and months ahead as we take over this case from here, but wanted you to know about this most recent development in the case. Thank you.